You know it is officially an end of an era when you start having Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw start giving their goodbye posts and messages on Instagram. It's pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie, because of course it brings back all the memories that these guys have had since Dre Greenlaw came through in the 2019 draft. So it's hard to see him leave to go to the Denver Broncos, but it is what it is. Changes were made, and the 49ers will have to move forward and live with it. So let's go through the messages that they have been discussing, and I also want to talk about, some of the just best memories that we've had with Dre Greenlaw, because there's been a bunch of them. So this is a message that Dre posted onto the 49ers under their post saying goodbye to him. He says, "Love y'all a ton, faithful. Hate it didn't turn out, and I couldn't give you that sixth ring, but I'm beyond blessed to have been a part of this franchise for 6 seasons. Thank you for changing a foster kid from Arkansas's life. I will forever cherish the opportunity to play with the best linebacker in football, Fred Warner. The bond me and Fred created can never be broken. I'll forever be grateful for you, brother. I will always cherish every moment that was made in that building. Love everybody in that organization from the bottom of my heart." So it's tough, man. It's tough to read, tough to say goodbye sometimes, because especially with a fan favorite like Dre Greenlaw, it's just, it's tough, man. And then of course, you have Fred come out and make a dedicated post to Dre Greenlaw that tugs on your heartstrings even more. He says, "My brother, one of the baddest boys to ever touch that green grass. We had moments that'll last a lifetime, and they always remember how we rocked out every time. Ain't no 5'4" without 5'7". Go be legendary, brother. Love always." And that was from Fred. And then you had Dre respond to that and say, "Love you, brother. Uh, we locked in, and can't nobody change that. I'll forever be grateful to play with the best linebacker in the world." Whew, I'm not crying. You're crying. There's a little dusty in here. It's like, man, my allergies are kicking up. But so many great memories with Dre Greenlaw. I had went through and put together some of the best moments in my camera roll and made a post on Instagram. This was from his rookie training camp. And honestly, they only allow you 20 uh, spots to make posts. I didn't have enough. I didn't even have enough to post his interception against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. He has had so many awesome moments. This was him leveling Kyle Juszczyk as a rookie in training camp, and this was one of the first moments where I was like, "Oh, I think we got something with this 5'7" guy." I mean, Kyle Juszczyk, in his prime of his career, best fullback in the league, and you got a rookie linebacker just laying him out. I was like, all right, we might got something here. But Dre, he came in. Quan Alexander was here. Fred Warner was just recently drafted, and then Dre comes in to be like the thorough linebacker, and he really developed the pick against Seattle in overtime. Was where he really started to develop the nickname the Seahawk Killer, because he was a big reason why they won against Seattle in that game when he picked off Russell Wilson. And then, of course, we all remember the arguably one of the craziest plays in the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch era was when they had the goal line stop at the one, literally the inch line, just one of the insane plays of recent memory. You could probably even say 49ers history, and there's been some crazy plays, but just the way that game came down, the way it came down to the finish, the way they stopped them on the one, and that game propelled them to lock in the 1 seed and win the West, and, it was just such a crazy, crazy moment. This was the scenes in the locker room. Quan went live after it. It was just a insane, insane game. And Dre Greenlaw's fingerprints were all over it. So he's been so good for the 49ers. And again, I know it's heartbreaking for a lot of 49er fans to see how it ended because we didn't even get to like a full year of Dre. We got 2.5 quarters. And I think that's one of the hardest things is, of course, if Dre's out there, maybe the 49ers defensive woes aren't as bad. Um, it's just crazy to think that, just a couple key players, if Dre's healthy, if Christian McCaffrey's healthy, if Brandon Ayuk is healthy, um, does the 49ers season look different than it did last year? Are they able to close out those games? With Dre being in, is Geno Smith going to be able to run, down the field and um, lead Seattle to a come from behind victory? Like it just, you could throw Talanoa Hufanga into that mix. It's just tough, man. It's a tough situation. I think for 49er fans, but it's also, a good situation for Dre Greenlaw. That was the Big Dom situation that he had. But I think one thing that Dre will be remembered for is his violence. He played the position so violently with so much effort. With like he just hit so hard, and he brought it every single play. Never took a play off. And we look at Fred Warner as like the best linebacker in NFL, but just like in Fred's, I think IG bio, he's like, there's no 5'4" without 5'7". Those guys really complemented each other with how they played, and you know, I really do think that Dre kind of was the heartbeat of the defense. Like, yes, Fred is the leader. He is the guy. He's like the rock, but it's like Dre was like the raw passion, like just the raw energy. Like he brought a different soul to uh combine with Fred Warner, and it was pretty special. One of my favorite interviews that I've done was with Dre Greenlaw. It was at the Super Bowl, and it was really cool because I had gotten to speak to Luke Kuechly about Fred and Dre. And Luke, I was actually talking about Fred Warner specifically, and he was the one who brought up Dre Greenlaw. And he said, you can't talk about Fred without talking about Dre. And Dre just lit up when I had mentioned that, and because he talked about how Luke Kuechly is like his favorite linebacker and how he studied Luke a ton. And so he was so excited to hear that Luke Kuechly was just heaping praise on him. And it was a really cool moment. It was a really cool, like, you know, we don't get to hear from Dre all that much. Like we really didn't over his career. He wasn't a big podium guy. He wasn't in press conferences. So for me, it was like peeling behind the curtain, like, oh, this guy's so cool. Like he's so chill. Like he's such a like you started dancing when I told him that Luke Kuechly was like gassing him up. He's just a cool dude. And it's just like I wish we got more opportunity to like see his personality. Because I think we're so used to seeing his personality on the field, which is just violent and all gas, no break. But he seemed like such a chill dude when I talked to him, and it was one of my favorite interviews I've done. And this was just the video. Is the last time he got called out onto the field. It was that Rams game. He was the last player to get called out. Typically, that's Fred's spot on the defense, but they gave it to Dre Greenlaw. And so that was the last time Dre got called out of the tunnel, man. And, you know, bittersweet for sure. Dre's brought so many memories to the San Francisco 49ers. Again, we talked about some of the interceptions that he's had, some of the big hits that he's had. He's just a great linebacker. And I'm happy that he was able to get payday. 3 years, 35 million, I believe, from the Denver Broncos. And I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. And I hope he finds success. And I just hope that the next guy that we can find, whether that's D Winters or whether that's someone in the draft, can, just bring that same level of energy and intensity and kind of keep that legacy going. So it's a hard part about, moving through these seasons is sometimes the change that comes with it. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.